Hey everyone, back with me again, Joseph, your host, and welcome back to Catechism for Kids. Today we're going to talk about something that happens to all of us, making mistakes. Have you ever done something wrong and felt really bad about it? Maybe you told a small fib, or got frustrated and said something you didn't mean. It's easy to feel like you failed and want to give up. But what if I told you there's a saint who made a mistake so big it changed his entire life, but in a good way? Today, we're journeying back in time to meet an amazing saint named Andrew Avellino. His story shows us that it's not about being perfect, but about always getting back up and trying again with God's help. Saint Andrew Avellino is the patron saint of perseverance, and his life is a powerful reminder that God's mercy is way bigger than any mistake we could ever make. So, let's dive in and learn how a single mistake helped create a great saint. Our story begins over 500 years ago, in 1521, in a small town in Italy called Castronnuovo. A baby boy was born and given the baptismal name Lanceloto. That's right, Lanceloto. From a very young age, Lanceloto showed a deep love for God and was dedicated to living a pure and holy life. He was also very smart. After finishing his first years of school, he was sent to big cities like Venice and Naples to study philosophy and law. Now, Lanceloto was not only smart, but also very handsome. As a young man, he often found that he got a lot of attention, which made it difficult for him to stay focused on his path with God. To show everyone that he was serious about dedicating his life to the church, he took the ecclesiastical tonsure. This was a special haircut that clergy members would get to show they were set apart for God's service. He continued his studies and became a brilliant lawyer, so brilliant that he earned the degree of Doctor of Laws. He was also ordained a priest at the age of 26. He started working as a lawyer for the church in the ecclesiastical court of Naples. He was good at his job, passionate, and great at arguing his points. He was on the fast track to success. But one day everything changed. While passionately defending a friend in court, Lanceloto got carried away. In the heat of the argument, trying to win the case, a lie slipped out of his mouth. It might have seemed like a small thing to others, just a lawyer doing his job. But for Lanceloto, it felt like a huge failure. Shortly after, he was reading the Bible and came across a powerful verse from the Book of Wisdom. It said, "The mouth that belieth killeth the soul." Those words struck him right in the heart. He felt a deep, profound remorse. He realized that in his desire to win, he had offended God and compromised the truth. This wasn't just a small slip-up for him. It was a moment of deep conviction. He knew he couldn't continue living the same way. In that moment of deep regret, he made a life-changing decision. He decided to renounce his entire career as a lawyer. He quit his job and dedicated himself completely to prayer, meditation, and spiritual exercises, asking God for forgiveness and guidance. This single mistake became the turning point in his life. It taught him a powerful lesson about humility and the importance of absolute honesty. He realized that worldly success meant nothing if it came at the cost of his soul. This moment of failure didn't break him. Instead, it opened his heart to an even deeper relationship with God and set him on the path to true holiness. It's an amazing reminder for us. When we mess up, we can let it push us away from God, or we can let it draw us closer to His mercy, just like Lanceloto did. After Lanceloto left his law career, people started to notice his deep piety and sincerity. The Archbishop of Naples saw the powerful change in him and gave him a very difficult task. There was a convent in Naples where the nuns were not living according to their rules. It had become a source of scandal, and the Archbishop needed someone strong and holy to help reform it. He chose Lanceloto. This was not an easy job. Lanceloto, with his newfound zeal, tried to restore discipline through his own example of prayer and penance. He worked tirelessly, but he faced a lot of resistance. Some wicked men had been secretly visiting the convent, and they were furious that Lanceloto was putting a stop to their bad behavior. They became so angry that one night they ambushed him and attacked him, leaving him severely wounded. He was taken to a nearby monastery to recover. This monastery was home to the Theatines, a new religious order founded by Saint Catechism. While he was there, surrounded by these devout priests, Lanceloto had another profound realization. He saw their dedication and their simple, holy lives, and he knew that this was where he belonged. He decided to leave everything behind and devote himself entirely to God by joining their order. At the age of 35, on the vigil of the Assumption, he was invested into the Theatine order, and this is when he left his old name, Lancelotto, behind. Out of his great love for the cross of Christ, he chose a new name, Andrew. From that day forward, he would be known as Andrew Avellino. He had gone from a successful lawyer to a humbled reformer, and now he was starting a new life as a simple priest in a religious order, ready to serve God in a whole new way. As a newly minted Theatine priest, Father Andrew wanted to grow even closer to God. He asked for permission to go on a pilgrimage to Rome to visit the tombs of the apostles and the early martyrs. This journey deepened his faith and strengthened his resolve. When he returned, his superiors saw his holiness and wisdom and made him the master of novices. This meant he was in charge of teaching and guiding all the new young men who wanted to become Theatine priests. He was a fantastic teacher because he taught from experience. He knew what it was like to be tempted and to make mistakes, so he could guide the novices with great compassion and understanding. He held this important job for 10 years, shaping a new generation of priests. After that, he was elected as the superior or leader of his monastery. Father Andrew was known for his incredible zeal. He wanted everyone, especially priests, to live holy lives. But he was also incredibly humble, never forgot his own past mistakes, and this memory kept him grounded. The head of the entire Theatine order saw Father Andrew's wonderful qualities and trusted him with a big mission, to go out and start new Theatine houses in other cities. So Father Andrew traveled to Milan and Piacenza, and through his efforts, many new Theatine houses were founded all across Italy. He became a famous preacher. Sermons were so powerful and eloquent that huge crowds gathered to hear him. He had a special gift for helping people turn away from sin and come back to God. Many people, hearing him preach, were so moved that they wanted him to be their spiritual director. One of his most famous disciples was a man named Lorenzo Scupoli, who wrote a very famous and beloved book called The Spiritual Combat, which is still read by people all over the world today. Father Andrew even became a close friend and trusted advisor to another great saint, Saint Charles Borromeo, who would ask for his advice on important matters in the church. Even though he was incredibly busy preaching, hearing confessions, visiting the sick, and leading his order, Saint Andrew Avellino still found time to write. He wrote many letters and several books on the spiritual life to help others grow in holiness. His life shows us that when you give your all to God, He gives you the strength and the time to do amazing things for His glory. He was a shining example of perseverance, never letting difficulties stop him from serving God. After a long and fruitful life of service, Saint Andrew Avellino lived to the ripe old age of 88. On November 10, 1608, he was about to begin celebrating the holy sacrifice of the Mass. As he stood at the foot of the altar, he was suddenly struck with apoplexy, which is a type of stroke. Even in this final moment, his focus was on Jesus. He devoutly received the Holy Viaticum, which is the Eucharist given to those who are near death, and then he peacefully passed away. He died as he had lived, in service to God and right at the altar of the Lord. It was a beautiful, holy end to a beautiful, holy life. His reputation for holiness was so widespread that just 16 years after his death, he was beatified by Pope Urban VIII. And in 1712, he was officially declared a saint by Pope Clement XI. Today, Saint Andrew Avellino is venerated as the patron saint of Naples and Sicily. And because of the way he died, people especially pray to him for protection against sudden death and for the grace of a happy death. They also invoke him as a patron for stroke and high blood pressure victims. His earthly remains are buried in the Church of St. Paul in Naples, Italy, where many people still visit to pray and ask for his intercession. So, what can we learn from the incredible life of Saint Andrew Avellino? The biggest lesson is about the power of perseverance and God's infinite mercy. Remember Lancelotto, the proud lawyer? He made a big mistake, but he didn't let that mistake define him. He didn't give up. Instead, he allowed his failure to humble him and lead him to a completely new path, a path of sainthood. This story teaches us that God doesn't call people who are already perfect. He calls regular people like you and me with all our flaws and mistakes. He perfects the ones who keep trying, the ones who fall down but get back up, dust themselves off and say, "Okay, God, I'm sorry. Let's try this again together." Saint Andrew's life is a testament to the fact that holiness isn't about never falling. It's about always getting back up. Every time we go to confession, every time we choose to do the right thing after doing the wrong thing, we are practicing perseverance, just like him. So next time you make a mistake, don't lose hope. Think of Saint Andrew Avellino. Turn to God, tell him you're sorry, and trust in his loving mercy. He is always waiting with open arms, ready to give you the grace to start over. Let's ask Saint Andrew Avellino to pray for us, that we may have the courage and perseverance to always say yes to God, no matter what. Thank you so much for joining me today for Catechism for Kids. I hope the story of Saint Andrew Avellino inspires you as much as it inspires me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss our next adventure into the lives of the saints. See you next time, friends, and take care. May the Lord bless you and keep you always.